Good morning. Welcome to the Iowa Statewide Interoperability Communication System Board meeting for August 13th, 2026. Holly, could you please call roll?
Luke Erpeling.
Luke Erpeling present, representing communication centers.
Curtis Woten.
President, representing EMS.
Michelle Bischoff.
Present, representing fire departments.
Michael Colby.
Present for municipal police departments.
Jeff Vandewater.
Present, representing sheriffs.
Patrick Upbeck.
Present, member at large.
And do we have any legislative members? We do have a quorum.
Very well, thank you very much. I would entertain a motion to approve today's agenda.
Colby will move.
Vandy
I have a
Water,
motion.
second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion passes. Approval of the meeting minutes from July 9th. I would entertain a motion.
Erpeling, a motion.
Second.
Vote no second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. That brings us to the SWIC report. SWIC Nichols.
Thank you, Chair Bischoff. Good morning, everyone. First thing is our next slide presentation for the RICS. The month of August is on the ComU Communications Unit program. We reviewed Iowa's 2026 interoperability markers. That's a yearly review that we look at where we're at on interoperability capabilities in the state and our own goals and objectives identified in the SCIP. The markers are identified as initial, defined, or optimized, and all of where we fell was within the more sophisticated and stabilized categories, and none of ours are still in the initial phase, so it looked good. Just a reminder about the Central States exercise that's happening in Hot Springs, Arkansas. Planning meetings have begun and the registration is filling up quickly. I saw that there is a team from Iowa going, and if anyone else is interested, sign up soon. We're still waiting to scope our TA request for the INTD that was approved. That'll be in Carroll County sometime this fall, trying to work with CISA to find that instructor. And we're waiting to hear if we were approved for the COML that we put the request in. That'll be state sponsored. I expect that to move forward as we're using our own instructors. That'll happen in Des Moines, probably sometime in the fall as well. Wisconsin does have an INTD, Incident Tactical Dispatcher course for September 21st open if anyone's interested in going up there to take the class. The only other thing I'll mention is we've talked about it in a couple of meetings before, but there will be a system admin and subsystem admin in-person meeting on October 14th at Orrin Pape. That came out of standard 2.4 that offers there will be periodic meetings to review operations and share ideas. So we are scheduling that, and we're ready to send the invite flyer out probably later today or maybe tomorrow. So if you don't receive that and you're a level 3 or 4 user, subsystem administrator, or designee, please reach out and we'll make sure you get on the list. That's my report for today, Chair Bischoff, unless I have any questions.
Very well, thank you very much. Are there any questions for SWIC Nichols?
Chief Colby got one question. Where's the Wisconsin class that's coming up, you said?
Yeah, I'll send that to
Remember?
you.
Thank you.
Very well. Are there any other questions? Great, thank you, Haley. That brings us to the 911 Council Report. Program Manager Darushi.
Thank you. Not a ton of information for this group today. Just to recap the 911 Council meeting that occurs just before this. If any of these things interest you, I'd go back and watch it on YouTube. It'll be up later today. But we did spend some time talking through the quarterly financials, which are also the end of year financials, as well as some discussion kind of organically with an eye towards the future legislative session. So if any of those are of interest to you, I would just encourage you to go back and watch that discussion on the council meeting on YouTube. Thank you.
Very well, thank you. Any questions for Program Manager Darushi? Great, thank you, Blake. That brings us to the User Group Committee. Chair Vandewater.
Thank you. The users group had no new applications to review in July, and therefore we canceled the meeting.
Very well. Any questions for the User Group Committee? Great, thank you, Sheriff. Finance Committee, we met this week.
Sorry, that's me.
Okay. We met this week and reviewed the financials for the closeout of the fiscal year, start of the new, everything's in order. The salary adjustments have yet to take place, but they will take place. But everything's in order in regards to the financials. Are there any questions regarding the financial that's on the screen? Great, thank you. And Chief Coley, the answer to your question is in the chat. Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin.
And she sent me the email. I already had a glance at it, so I appreciate it.
Perfect. And that brings us to governance. Chair Colby.
That's back to me as well. Yeah, we met on August 3rd, 11:30. We had a short meeting. We didn't have any old business. We did have a new business item that we talked about, the Isicsb towers capacity. So it's more of a discussion and looking at as we have some policies coming up for the radio over LTE options out there and what the capacity would be of that. So we did have some pretty good discussions about what those capacity looks like and who should manage that and what going forward as people come on board and the capacity of the system remains the same, but the use goes up, what that will look like too. So as we dive into that, we may bring on some additional boards to look at that and then make some recommendations to the or additional committees and then make some recommendations to the board to maybe look at some suggestions there to present to the state to make sure that the system does not ever reach max capacity, so we don't have any downtime because of capacity issues. Short summary of our conversation.
Very well. We will discuss that further when we get to information sharing as a possible means to be more collaborative about the capacity question. But we'll talk about that when we get there.
Yeah, it's going to go through a lot of committees. It's not just going to be a governance thing. It's
no. Pull all the chairs together. We'll talk about it and see what we see how everyone feels about it.
That concludes the report, unless there's any questions.
Perfect. Any questions for Chair Colby and governance? Great, thanks, Chief. That brings us to the Operations Committee and Chair Erpelding.
Good morning. Operations met on August 4th at 3 p.m. During that meeting, we had some information from Rick One concerning the expansion and the need for added talk groups to the region. That took up a majority of our time. We did not take any action, but did decide that there is a possible need for this, and we're going to continue discussions on that topic. On our agenda, we also worked on finalizing visor cards and discussion of policy 2021-02-0 requirements for frequency coordination with vendors and LTE broadband vehicles. We took no further action on that this time, kind of tabled it for the next meeting. And once we got through those items, we had gone through our time and adjourned for the day. That concludes my report, unless Wick has anything to add additionally.
That we have one standard in the agenda, 1.5.0 later in the agenda.
That concludes my report.
Very well. Are there any questions for operations? And Chair Erpelding. Great, thank you, Luke. That brings us to the Training and Outreach Committee. Chair Wotan.
Thank you, Chair. Just continued discussion on the onboarding plan and where to go with it. That will conclude it.
Excellent. Are there any questions for the Training and Outreach and Chair Wotan? Hearing none, thank you, Curtis. The ComU Credentialing Subcommittee, Deputy Swick Walzer.
Nothing to report this month. I believe we have at least one on the agenda for next week, so we should have something for you next month.
Fantastic. Any questions for credentialing? Great, thank you, Wally. That brings us to the Technology Committee, Chair Updike.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
So a quick update here. Swick Nichols didn't mention it, but I'll go ahead and mention it. That if you remember, we've been working on 6 800 meg frequencies that are 35 watt and 5 800 meg frequencies that are low power 2 watt channels. So she's been doing all the heavy lifting there, and so we're reviewing the application to get those 11 frequencies licensed and move forward on that. So that's just a quick update on that. We met on the 23rd of July, but not the 6th of August, and there's a reason for that. We've been having some pretty big discussions on capacity issues that may form in the future, if you will. We looked at everything, or at least discussed it. The number of subscribers, consoles, zones, you name it, anything that pertains to the system and where capacity issues could form. We took that deep dive into that. It started to get to a point where we really were getting to the boundaries of the technology committee. And so we decided to stop there and try to seek some help from bigger entities and help us move forward on this, because the goal is to try to get ahead of any capacity issues that may exist in the future and develop either a standard or a policy that will address those issues. And so obviously in the information sharing section, we'll go into that, but we just kind of said it's time for us to stop until we get, some additional help here. So that's kind of where we're at. I know it's kind of watered down, but I think that's probably the best way to describe it, is watered down at this point. So that's where we're at. So that's all I got for this report.
Very well, thank you. Are there any questions for technology? Thank you, Patrick. FirstNet Broadband Subcommittee, Swick Nichols.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. So the meeting was held in person at Orn Pape on the 11th, just a couple days ago. Vice Chair Hoffman led the meeting. There were a number of FirstNet and AT&T representatives in the room. We did the coverage workshop. Didn't get very far in making any decisions, but they would like us to put forward 6 new locations by December. So I did send out the survey tool again, and am really highly suggesting that people take a look at that, fill it out. It only takes a few minutes to indicate some places where you may think that coverage could be enhanced. They did go over emerging technologies and where they have been spending the money and what's on the horizon for 2027. So it was a really good meeting, but if you received that email, please fill it out. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Very well, thank you. Are there any questions for the FirstNet Broadband Subcommittee? All right, that brings us to other reports and information sharing with the board. And as had been alluded to in many of our committee reports, there is a common theme of many committees that are working on and bumping into walls in regards to how does the board address the capacity issue? One, do we have a capacity issue? How would we quantify it? And then what happens should there be a capacity problem, given the capacity evaluation that we make as a part of the user group committee's work? In talking with the SWIC and in talking with a few of the chairs, we thought perhaps it might be beneficial if we brought all the chairs, effectively brought the board together for a working session that we can hash out all of the obstacles, put together a go forward plan collectively for all of the committees, and how do we work this through, and what other resources should be brought to bear, and give the SWIC a little more guidance as to how to get those resources or what resources are needed so that she can go about acquiring them. There are numerous resources available to us through federal partners that, and as well as working back with Motorola would be a likely potential as well if we deem that necessary. So anyway, with all of that, would like everyone's input as to what your thoughts are on having an in-person working group. I think it would also be valuable for us to review where we're at with the skip and what's left to be worked on there. That document is up for review next year. So if we have any pieces that are unobtainable or if we've completed everything, just kind of a status update. I guess, what is everyone's thoughts on having an in-person meeting sometime in the fall? I was thinking September, October, but that's just seed for the conversation. What are others' thoughts?
Mike Colby, I'll speak up for just a minute. I would be 100% in support of that, having a work session in person wherever we're at in the state to work through this. I think it's important to stay ahead of that, whether that's an issue that's going to come about in 6 months or in 6 years. Either way, we should have a discussion and have a plan and just know what the foundation is going to look like of that discussion. So I would support that.
Thank you. Others' thoughts?
This is Patrick. I think it's a good idea. I'm on board with it because we need to get our heads together on this, even though it's not a problem, now, but the potential of it could be there at some point, but we just don't know. And I think it's just good that we all come together on this and get ahead of it as best we can. Thank you.
Wilton would be in full favor of that also.
Okay.
Erpling also in favor. Also proposing if we could meet here, and Adele and Terry's giving me the nod right now that we could.
Very well. Is Adele a good location for everyone?
I can make it work. Mike
Okay.
Colby.
Okay. And I think you probably have you or Patrick would probably have the longest commute. And does it make sense to pair it with the September or October board meeting, that we do the board meeting in person and then have the working group afterwards? Does that make sense for everyone? Or is that taking up too much of a single day for folks?
With travel time, I can make that work.
Okay. Sheriff, what are your thoughts?
Yeah.
That would be fine.
Okay. All right. Big preference, September or October?
It'll be September 10th or October 8th.
Works for the calendar.
Both those days work.
Days work for the calendar here.
Both
Okay.
days work in Adele.
Okay.
Erpling would
I'll
propose October 8th.
October. Okay. Does October not work for anyone? All right, we'll move forward with getting an agenda together and working with Terry to reserve the space, and everyone can plan to be in person in Adele October 8th for the board meeting, and then the working group to follow. I guess, does it make more sense to follow, or would you rather have it pre? Does it matter to anyone?
After would be my
Or
preference.
this,
A-
911.
After? Oh, that's true. Very true. Yep. No, we wouldn't want to conflict with 911 for those that attend both. All right, we'll look at after on October 8th. Thank you all for your input. Greatly appreciated. Are there any other items for information sharing amongst the board? All right, moving on. The sysadmin report. Scott or Al?
It's Scott this week. Thank you, Chair. I'll begin with maintenance update. Annual RF maintenance continues with 6 sites scheduled for the end of August. Those would be Audubon, Adair South, Atlantic, and 3 sites in Harrison County. Also, we're tracking a few broken radome covers at Hooper, Lourdes, and Emmett sites, as well as a tower light issue at Shelby with a side marker. And Motorola will be scheduling tower crews for repairs on those issues. And recently we've had an issue with what I'll call phantom mic clicks popping up again. Several units within DPS noticed this first upon checking with other agencies. Several others had reported intermittent issues as well. Motorola looked into the issue, worked on it for several days, ended up making a change to a config in a border router. That seemed to clear up the issue, and we have not had any reports since that time. So hopefully that has now been corrected. With that, that clears up the maintenance, and we've got numbers for July of 26. Radios currently stand at 49,847. Talk groups are at 3,665. Our push to talks were just shy of 3.5 million, and we are closing in on our 50,000th radio coming up. And with that, that will conclude my report.
That is awesome. Thank you. Are there any questions for our sysadmins? Great, thank you, Scott. That brings us to the FirstNet Authority. Tom Lampy.
Morning.
Good morning.
So we have an update on July 30th. If you didn't see the news, we launched the AT&T launched the 5G standalone core. You've always had a standalone core, but now you also have a 5G standalone core that is upgraded for FirstNet users. The CEW, Swick Nichols highlighted on. I'm looking as we speak at a map with the survey tool that she sent out. I got about 19 of them, so that's good. Areas that I'm currently looking at. As Swick Nichols stated, there's 6 more that we need to get prioritized. I'll work with that same group to get those in by the end of the year. There's already 6 that are in the different stages of what do you want to call build or engineering analysis based on your last priorities. So that's good news. The real good news is I'm going to continue to keep tabs on this. As the money comes in, I'll be asking them for more and more priorities. So the good news is you're getting processed with the site builds. The survey tool is very important that you submit where areas are needed, so we get those sites in the list that you want as we continue through this spending this money for coverage in the rural areas. You currently have a deployable over in the Field of Dreams, providing coverage down in that area. It's a CRD. There's also an AT&T deployable over there, what we call a market cow. However, that wasn't covering as well, so that there's a FirstNet only CRD right beside DPS's vehicle there. Yeah, I think that's it for now. Any questions for me?
Great, thank you, Tom. Are there questions for the FirstNet Authority and Mr. Lampy? Thank you, Tom. That brings us to the AT&T update and Kara O'Donnell. Kara with us today?
She's on vacation, I believe.
Okay.
She was at the FirstNet coverage workshop because of it.
All right, very well. Thank you. I appreciate that. That brings us to the CISA update. I know Chris is also on vacation, but is there anyone presenting on his behalf?
Yes, ma'am. Good morning, Joe Garcia, BCC from Region 6. The only two items I was going to discuss on behalf of Chris were already discussed by Swick Pickles regarding the technical assistance for the INTD and the state-sponsored COMEL course. And that the state markers have already been identified, discussed, and are all set. So pending any questions, that's all I have.
Very well, thank you. Are there any questions for CISA?
Sorry, actually, I do have an alibi. I'll follow up with Nichols regarding the INTD that's going to be taking place in Chippewa Falls. I don't know if you're in Iowa allows additional states if you have any available seats. I know some of the other regions are short and always looking for opportunities to send some of their personnel for any available classes that are taking place. So if that's an option that we could take advantage of, if maybe Switch and Nichols could let me know, I'd appreciate that. Thank you.
Yes, sir, I will.
Very well, thank you. Are there any questions for CISA? That brings us to old business, of which there is none. Moving on with new business. We did receive a request for the sub-regional talk groups. These are the encrypted sub-regional talk groups that some of the committees had already been socializing. We have received a formal request from Dave Lockard in the Des Moines radio shop. We are working with him to get it in a standard format. Once we have that, as is laid out in standard 1.54, that will be disseminated to the user group, the technology group, and user, I'm missing somebody. Operations, thank you. I'm like Luke's group operations for their review. And the policy lays out very clearly what the options are for that review. And those options at the end of the review is that either they come out of the Isicsb shared talk groups that are available to the prescribed group, or that they come out of local talk groups. Those are the two options that has as that policy is laid out. So once we get with Dave and get that request completely filled out, there's just a couple pieces of missing information that will be given then to the chairs. And then the expectation is that your committee follow that policy and review the request and work with the applicant to answer questions, and we'll then have a group meeting of those three committees: operations, user group, and technology, to everyone report out their findings and come to a consensus as to what the recommendation to the board is for that request. And then ultimately it goes to governance to ensure that existing policy fits the situation, or what new policy would be needed, if any. So that's a brief overview of that standard. And like I said, once we get the formal request, it'll be sent to We'll send it to all the chairs so that everyone's aware of what's been requested. But just those committees that have an active role need to take action. Any questions on that matter? Very well. That brings us to our next item of approval of a 30-day comment period on standard 1.5, the Isicsb regional and statewide interoperability talk groups. Swick Nichols or Luke, which of you are reporting out on this?
Looks like I'll take it. We have
Okay.
1.5.0. The main reason this is up for a comment period is there have been edits made to include the sub-regional talk groups in the list. It's statewide, regional, and sub-regional now. So all the way through the standard, they have been included. So we would like input on how that should go. The other red lines really are just grammatical and we took a portion out. There was a chart that explained where the talk groups are required and for whom they're required. And we directed users of the standard to 1.7.0 minimum programming requirements instead of it having that chart there. Those are the main changes, and that'll be up on the new website comment period.
Very well. I would entertain a motion to post Isicsb standard 1.5.0 out for a 30-day comment period.
Vote on motion.
Vandy Water
Colby
second.
will se-
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 I,
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And I realized I did not entertain a motion and a second for item A. So let's go back and take care of that. I would entertain a motion to receive the request of the sub-regional talk groups per standard 1.54.
Colby will motion.
And a second.
Vandy Water.
I have a motion and a second. All those of receiving and filing the request with more information to follow for the sub-regional talk group, please signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you, and sorry about that. That brings us to item C, adopting the following standards. Swick Nichols, these are all of the policies that we put out for the 60-day comment period that was on hold because of the website updates. Do we need to handle these each individually? Were there a lot of comments or were there no comments?
Yeah, I
How
do not
does that
think they
shake
need to
out?
be individually. There were 0 comments, although
Okay.
there were lots of views. So I know a lot of people took the time to look at those. So
Okay,
nothing
very well.
to-
Then, does anyone object to handling these as a package? All right.
Should I
then
just make a
let's-
motion to handle them as a package, Colby?
Yes,
That might be
let's
the best way to
let's
do
just
it.
yeah, let's have the motion be something about new business items C 1 through 8, so that at least they're referenced.
Colby will make that motion.
Is there a second?
Vandy Water.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor of adopting the policies listed under new business item C, items 1 through 8, please signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. That brings us to item D, retiring the following. I would entertain a motion to retire standard 1.1.0 cybersecurity. I guess, are there any, Swick Nichols, before we do that, do you have any comments?
No, my only comment would be now that you've adopted the ones above, these two should be retired.
Okay, gotcha. Very well. Well, let's do the same thing. Item D, 1 through 2, 1 and 2. I would entertain a motion to retire.
Vote no motion.
Is there a second?
Purple will second.
All those in favor of retiring the items listed under new business, item D, items 1 and 2, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. That brings us to our ComU credentials.
Yes,
Ms.
thank you.
Nichols.
I would ask Benjamin Andrews to please come up and receive his ComL credential. Ben is from the Des Moines Police Department. He was on the ComU credentialing agenda 2 months ago and could make it today. I'm so
Stop
sorry.
talking and just smile. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations, Ben. Well deserved and well earned. And thank you too to your command staff and supervisors that afforded you the time to be able to achieve this credential. With that, that brings us to public comment. Are there any members of the public that would like to address the board? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion for adjournment.
Colby will move.
Candy water.
There were several motions and a second.
Colby will second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you all for your time and your efforts. Have a great day.